Well, hello my lovelies, it's Murky Meg here. It's Wednesday the 3rd of March and overnight there has been a humongous media frenzy that has been going on. At 10 o'clock last night, the Times dropped a bombshell of an article. Now, if you don't know what the Times is, it is a very reputable UK broadsheet. It's not a tabloid, it's a broadsheet. They are extremely thorough with their investigations and will not put out anything that they cannot stand behind and have evidence to back it up. So this is what's happened. They've accused Meghan Markle of being a bully. They claim that royal aides have hit back at Meghan before her television interview with Oprah Winfrey by revealing that she faced a bullying complaint made by one of her advisors during the time that she was at Kensington Palace. Now, the reason these advisors have approached the Times was because they felt that a partial version had emerged with Meghan Markle speaking openly about her treatment on the Oprah Winfrey interview and that they wanted their side of the story told. The aide complained that Meghan drove two personal assistants out of the household and was undermining the confidence of a third staff member. This all transpired in 2018 in October by, we've heard the name before, Jason Naff. He was the communications secretary and he tried to get Buckingham Palace to protect staff who he claimed were coming under pressure from Meghan's attitude. He also claimed that Prince Harry himself pleaded with Jason Naff not to pursue it. That in itself shows you that Harry is equally as culpable as Meghan. It transpires that Jason Naff sent an email to Simon Chase, who was then the Duke of Cambridge's private secretary, and this was after some conversations that Naff had with Samantha Carruthers, who was the head of HR. So, in simplicity, that Jason Naff sent an email to Simon Case, and Simon Case then sent the email to the head of HR. Now, when this email was sent to the Times, Carruthers, who was the head of HR, agreed with Jason Naff on all counts that the situation was very serious, and he added, "I remain concerned that nothing will be done." There was huge concern that nothing was done or will be done to protect staff against the possibility of bullying by a member of the royal family. And aides also insisted that behind the scenes they did more to welcome and help her to fit in and find the role she had been publicly acknowledged. Like I've said before, these people have approached the Times because they feel that their side of the story will impact on what Harry and Meghan have to say this coming Sunday on Oprah's interview. Apparently, two senior members of staff have claimed that they were bullied by Meghan. Another former employee told the Times that they had been personally humiliated by her and claimed that two members of staff had been bullied. Another aide also said that it felt more like emotional cruelty and manipulation, which I guess could be called bullying. The Times also released something extremely shocking, and I feel that this little piece of information is going to get swept up with the bullying claim, but nonetheless it's extremely important. They claim that the Duchess, i.e. Meghan, wore earrings to a formal dinner in Fiji. These are the said earrings in 2018, and that they were a wedding gift from the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia, who has been accused by US intelligence agencies to have approved the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. When Meghan wore these earrings, the dinner which she attended took place 3 weeks after his death, and at the time it's reported that the earrings were borrowed, not a gift. But in fact, the Times claim it was a gift and that she was aware of the provenance of the earrings. Let's get that straight, shall we? She was aware that this gift was from the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia, and that he may be connected to a murder. And she goes ahead and wears earrings because she thinks she can. She also wore them again to an event held by Prince Charles for his birthday. We can see them here, look. They're the same earrings. Apparently, now, I haven't been able to corroborate this, but there was rumours that she'd lost a pair of earrings, a very expensive pair of earrings she couldn't find. Are these the earrings that were lost? What's happened to these earrings? Who has these earrings? There's also speculations that they weren't her earrings, that they were given to the crown and therefore it's the crown's fault. Be it what you may, the earrings were worn and she knew the provenance of those earrings and where they came from and its connection. That in itself is shocking. And a lot of people are screaming blood diamonds, because it's under the same umbrella, isn't it? So let's just go back a little bit to Jason Naff's email to The Times. He wrote that I'm very concerned that the Duchess was able to bully two PAs out of the household in the past year. The treatment of X, who is to remain confidential, was totally unacceptable. The Duchess seemed intent on always having someone in her sights. She is bullying and seeking to undermine her confidence. We've had report after report from people who have witnessed unacceptable behaviour towards this person. The email, which also expressed concern about the stress being experienced by Samantha Cohen, who was the private secretary at the time, and he says that I question if the household policy on bullying and harassment applies to principals. What's more worrying is that this has been seen, these complaints have been seen to be swept under the carpet. And Naff says that the complaint was sent to HR department. However, one source said, I think the problem is not much happened with it. It was, how can we make this go away, rather than addressing it. This is not only damaging for both Harry and Meghan, it's damaging for the royal family and fundamentally the institution within and how it deals and protects its staff. Because from this particular article, and it's a well-researched article, doesn't look like they protect their staff at all. As I said previously, Harry went to Naff and begged him not to pursue it. Harry and Meghan's lawyers deny any meeting took place or that the Duke would have interfered with any staff matter. Even worse, another source has claimed that senior people in the household, Buckingham Palace and Clarence House, knew that they had a situation where members of staff, particularly young women, were being bullied to the point of tears. The institution protected Meghan constantly, and all the men in grey suits who she hates have a lot to answer for because they did absolutely nothing to protect people. Let's just revisit that, shall we? The institution protected Meghan constantly, but we are led to believe that nobody protected Meghan. Consequently, Jason Naff's complaint was never progressed. Two of the people named in his email are said to feel that nothing has been done to investigate the bullying claim. The following month, Jason Naff handed in his notice. He was later rehired by the Cambridges for their Royal Foundation. What's even more damaging, and it explains a humongous amount of things, was the issue of staff, their treatment, and the fact that they were shared between William and Harry, by which I mean that the Royal Foundation staff were equally shared between William and Harry, because at that point, all four of them worked for or within the Royal Foundation, became so pressing that William and Case, which is Simon Case, accelerated the process of splitting the two households. What was a long-term plan became an immediate plan. That is why the Royal Foundation split so suddenly, because of claims of bullying and treatment of staff. If this was the case, why was it not investigated? Why has it been swept under the carpet? Those poor women were victimised, bullied, belittled, manipulated, gaslighted, and nobody heard their voice. The Sussexes have hit back and wrote to the Times in response. They have said, Let's call it what it is, a calculated smear campaign based on misleading and harmful misinformation. We are disappointed to see this defamatory portrayal of the Duchess of Sussex given credibility by the media outlet. It's no coincidence that distorted several-year-old accusations aimed at undermining the Duchess are being briefed of the British media shortly before she and the Duke are due to speak openly and honestly about their experience of recent years. It goes on that the Duchess is saddened by this latest attack on her character, particularly as someone who has been the target of bullying herself, and is deeply committed to supporting those who have experienced pain and trauma. She's determined to continue her work building compassion around the world and will keep striving to set an example for doing what is right and doing what is good. Buckingham Palace denied to comment. We've all heard the stories. We've heard the tea throwing stories, and I hope to God that that person now pushes forward and feels safe to be able to speak about what happened. In 2018, in December, Dan Wootton reported that serious concerns Kate had about the way Meghan was treating staff, and this story was furiously denied at the time by Meghan's team, but the Sun decided to publish it based on the multiple sources that they had on the matter. Apparently, Kate had to pull Meghan up over the way that she spoke to Kate's staff, and Kate is said to have told Meghan, "That's unacceptable, they're my staff and I speak to them." Her and Kate fell out when she berated Kate's staff in 2018, and that was reported in The Sun. I've always said there is no smoke without fire, and I really do hope that the floodgates now open and a flow of people now come out and say, it happened to me too. In another damaging article also released by The Times, it says that more than one source has expressed their views about Meghan wanting to be a victim. One claimed she wanted to be the victim because then she could convince Harry that it was an unbearable experience and that they had no choice to move to America. Lawyers for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex denied that this was true. Supporters of the couple have argued that Harry and Meghan were frustrated in their attempts to live their life in different ways. Now, what I say to that comment is I've been saying this all along, that this is backing up evidence that she manipulated the situation where she was the perpetual victim, that she was the downtrodden, that they had no other choice but to go their separate ways from the royal family and build a life in America. Convincing Harry that she was fundamentally unsupported and unprotected, leaving him with no other choice but to flee. It's another form of coercive control and gaslighting at its finest. I've said this all along, that she has manipulated the situation to blindfold Harry and lead him to exactly where she wants him to be, away from his family, alone, isolated and totally dependent on her. I think Royally Strategic summed it up in one post perfectly. Harry obviously poured his heart out to this woman. She used his story to weave a wicked narrative. Don't let them hurt me how they hurt your mother. They're doing exactly the same to me. If I was Harry, I would flee too. She used his greatest weakness against him, and I think that just sums it up beautifully, doesn't it? She's used his trauma to manipulate the situation. So where does this leave us? This is major headlines. You know, will this now be Meghan versus the Times or Meghan versus the Palace? We've got to question whether or not she will sue, because she did this to the Daily Mail and they are vexatious litigants. So everybody's asking now, what's going to happen? Are they going to clap back and start the legal route? One thing I know for sure is that the Times will have made this watertight. They would not have gone to publish this if they hadn't got all their ducks in a row, because they are well aware of how the Sussexes, I nearly said sausages then, Sussexes behave with regards to their penchant for suing everybody and anybody that they feel has slated them. One thing's for sure, that a couple of days ago, they were papped in their Range Rover driving near their Montecito home with Dora in the back. They looked miserable. Now, you know, I know when people are driving around, you're not all happy and smiley, but it was a face of thunder for both of them. And everybody kind of looked at those pictures and went, oh, what's got them? Because they just look so alienated with each other, and their face was just like pure anger. And it now makes perfect sense, because they would have been briefed by the Times, because they've had to. They've released a comment back to the Times, so they know what the Times was going to run with. They would have been made aware because they did their comment. So they knew that this was coming. So were their unhappy faces a direct result of what they knew were coming in the article? What I ask, or what I hope now, is that the media follow the breadcrumbs of the pattern that is emerging, that we've all known about, but we're told that we were absolute bullies and tyrants and racists and all of the above. But the breadcrumbs are there, and I really hope that the media now start to fight back, because this is what it is. Media has had enough. The British press have had enough, and the gloves are officially off. And I, for one, can't wait. I've got my big bowl of popcorn ready. Ultimately, what this article was trying to do was destroy the narrative that Meghan Markle is a victim, and only time will tell whether or not it has done that. Will she sue? Will she not? It's going to be very, very interesting. It certainly puts a whole new light on the victim narrative that she is peddling. So I would love to know your thoughts on all of this. Are you gleeful that this has finally come out? We all knew somewhere along the line somebody would snap and talk, because there has been a lot of chatter about it, and finally it's coming to the forefront. I would love to know your thoughts on all of this. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.